our waste.
Our waste.
Time is more precious than...
If time is more precious than money, then spend the money, right? So if you have the time, you can save the money, or you can spend the money, save the time. Hi, welcome. Today we're building a chicken coop as efficiently and simply as possible. We actually only used 3 pieces of plywood and used all complete 3 pieces of plywood, so we didn't waste anything. So you get the biggest bang for your buck, you get the biggest chicken coop for the amount of lumber that you're spending your money on. And it's super simple, really easy to measure. We didn't even use a speed square or anything like that. I know that framing can look like such a challenge if you've never done it, and my dad made it really simple. He's here to help me. So take a look at what we've done so far. So our materials list was the 3 pieces of plywood, 2 12-foot 2x4s, and some 48-inch long pieces of pallet wood that run along the sides of a pallet and not the ones that go on top. Most average pallets that you get are 42 inches wide and then 48 inches long, and we need that long piece to go along the inside, and you'll probably need 6 of those. So you're looking at least 2 pallets, and that's if you're getting all of the boards off efficiently. Sometimes they crack, so I would get probably 3 pallets at least. This is post editing, Michelle. We ended up using like 12 or 14 depending on what type of pallet you have. Some of them have like 4 2x4s and some of them have 3 2x4s. You need at least 12, and then for the roosts you're gonna need at least 3 more. So just get as many pallets as you can. Definitely need at least 12 2x4s that are 48 inches long. Just to be absolutely clear, I want to show you a pallet. This is the board that you can use. We had extra large pallets that we got from behind a specific store, but you can use any pallet. This one got these. So there's a little bit of skill involved in this, but for the most part, if you have a hammer, you can get it done in a reasonable amount of time and save as much as you want to.
If I can do it.
Say it again.
If I can do it, anybody can do it.
Complete. So 16 2x4s that are 48 inches a piece. That ends up being 8 2x4s that are 8 foot long. And an 8 foot long 2x4 near me is about $10. So you're saving $80 by using pallet wood. Is it worth the struggle of pulling pallets apart? That's up to you. But even if you don't use it, it's only about $200 to buy brand new, all new boards. So that's up to you. But all of that is better than the ones that they sell at the box stores.
10 minutes, $25. So 10 times 6. So that's $300 an hour you're making.
Okay, so what my dad is doing right now is he's measuring 5 foot from this side over there, and he has marked that at 5 foot. And then on this side, he's marked it at 3 foot. That way we can cut at an angle between those 2 marks, and that is going to be the slope for our roof. And these will be the sides to our chicken coop. I grab this, I'm gonna put it at this mark, he's gonna put it at that mark, and then he's going to simply pull the rope and it's gonna make a line of chalk for us to cut. You can use a pen for this. Just take the side of the next piece of plywood you're going to use and use that to trace the line. So this time my dad's marking it at 3 foot and 3 foot, and it's going to be a straight line so that this side can be the short side and this side will be the long side, which will be 5 foot. Yeah. So this is the 3 foot side and that's the 5 foot side. I'm gonna do it one more time at 3.5 on one side and 4.5 on the other. Knowing what I know now, having finished it, I would have cut it at 4 foot 9 inches, which would have left 3 foot 3 inches on the other side because I actually needed more space in between the bottom of the coop, and you needed a little bit more hanging off at the top of the coop. So now we're gonna take the 3.5 foot one and cut it right down the center, and that's going to be where our chicken ladder is for the chickens to get up from underneath. We're gonna make this super easy so you don't even have to use a speed square. Okay, so now we're going to take our 12-foot board and we're gonna measure from the bottom 2 feet up, and that's going to meet with the bottom of this board. And then from there, it's going to be 5 foot up to the peak here, where we're going to mark it at the same angle as the roof. So we're going to take that 2 foot mark and line it up with the bottom of the board, and then at the top, we're going to just trace that top corner. Mine's not matching now.
So put it at 2 feet.
Mine's good.
Okay, that's where we're cutting it.
And then we're gonna make 2 of those. Sweet. So that's the short side. So as you can see, that other 3, total 5 foot board, side of the board, is going to fit on the small side.
We need to cut off a 1/2 inch because there was a little.
So what my dad was saying is that our 2x4s from the store are not exactly 12 foot. So you have to go measure the 3 foot side or the 5 foot side as well. So you would finish the 5 foot side with the 2 foot legs, and then you just use the other half of that 12-foot board, put it on the other side, measure the 2 foot legs, and just like you did for the first one, and then the 3 foot, and you're gonna cut off like a sliver. And that's just so that it sits and it doesn't wobble. So to get your second one, I'm just laying the large board down first, making sure it's lined up at that side, and then I'm just going to trace it.
12 foot pressure treated. Good.
62.5.
That's our waist.
Our waist.
So that same angle that you had,
This one.
which is either 28,
62.
62 and a half, or 27.5 degrees, is the same. Is still the same
This
angle.
angle is the same as this angle running that way. So you don't have to change the angle of your miter saw.
Now, we
We could use our used boards. So you just line up the edge of that board with where the slope of the plywood is, and he just marked on each corner where he needed to cut it.
If you didn't have a miter saw, what would you do?
Cut it. You just use a circular saw, but it wouldn't be quite as accurate, but it'll be close enough.
Just so you know, what's this length of board?
On the top, it will
Should
be
the same as the bottom.
45 and 5/8.
5/8.
Right on.
And then you're gonna cut another one that exact same length. I know this part is a little bit challenging, especially if you don't have a miter saw, but if you need to, you can literally just trace it and cut it with a skill saw.
So your best bet is going to be just measuring from the inside of this 2x4 to the inside of this 2x4.
Are you generous?
It was not,
Perfect. Nice and flush.
because I could actually measure that one. You know.
Oh yeah, because it's not an angle.
Right.
Okay, so we're using the boards that we found for free as the inside boards because they will not be in contact with the ground. But the side boards are our treated boards that we bought
Because their legs are hitting the ground.
because these will be touching the ground, whether we paint them or not.
Still,
It's better.
Yes, and if you can, on treated wood, you want to wait a while before you paint it.
So we're going to take the thickness of this and subtract it from the width of our coop, which is 4 foot. And that's going to give us the board that runs in between our two 2x4s.
And we'll need 4 2x that length.
And that's going to be the width of the board that runs from between this side to this side. And we're using our free boards that we got off of our used pallets. I think you need at least 6. We had 1 for each corner of the coop, and then we had 2 runners in the back for where we're going to install our nesting boxes. All right, so now that we're caught up, it's the second day. I wanted to finish what happened yesterday, and basically we took all of the pieces that we had so far, and we painted what was going to be the inside of the coop. That way it would be dry and sealed. We used exterior paint and painted along even the sides of this just to seal it off because we live in Southeast Georgia and it is like basically the swamp here. Anything and everything will rot, so we have to make sure we take extra precautions so that it doesn't. And that way it will last as long as possible. So you want to paint the inside, and then we're going to put it together, and then we're going to paint the outside. So that's it for day 1. Today we're going to get started putting the coop together. So stay tuned for that video. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you want to see the rest of this tutorial. It helps me get the word out. I always felt so intimidated by this, and I just want people to know that it is not that complicated and you can have the chicken coop of your dream. I know that I have my dad to help me, but I feel comfortable doing it on my own now that I've seen it done, if that helps.